the Harden Up project. And this is something I've been thinking about for a while now. And so here's a little bit of an introduction to the Harden Up project. I don't know about you, but I'm getting soft. In fact, I think the human race as a whole is getting soft. You just have to look back, 50 years ago, we're definitely softer than we were 50 years ago. And if you look back 100 years ago, I guarantee we are way softer. So I think it's time we started hardening up again. Why, you may ask? Well, no matter who you are, I think being harder makes you better. Even if you're the hardest person in the world, being a little bit tougher, a little bit more mentally resilient than you currently are has to be a positive thing. So harden up. 2 simple words that I think that I've personally used a lot from time to time to get me through some pretty hard physical situations, but also mental situations, mentally challenging times. Being from an endurance background, the most obvious sort of challenging times that I've used the phrase harden up to get through is physical times. When you're hurting in a race or a training session, harden up makes you, push a little bit harder, push through that pain, dig a little deeper to be that little bit better. If you're having a tough day at work, it's not that bad, harden up. What about if you don't get your morning coffee in the morning and you're a little bit grumpy? It's kind of like, come on, harden up. Or feeling hangry. That's not actually a feeling. It's not an emotion. Harden up and get over it. So, you're a member of the human race. Okay, you're a member of the most adaptable species on Earth. Hell, you're a member of the most adaptable, robust species in the whole entire universe that we know of. Our ancestors, fought woolly mammoths, or they ran down antelope, literally ran them down. It's called persistence hunting. You chase a bunch of quadrupeds and they can't pant to cool themselves down. Humans, we can. We can sweat. So we can run after things on 2 legs until they get tired and stop, and then we can kill and eat them. And that's how we, the human race, used to hunt things. We used to live in caves and huts. We've survived famine, epidemic, plague, and explored the extremes of the earth, whether that be to the Arctic or the Antarctic. We've suffered in concentration camps, prisoner of war camps. We've survived desert islands, been lost at sea, in the jungle, in mountains, and the desert. So you quite literally have the same physical goods, the same DNA as some of the most robust and resilient people who have ever walked the earth. So just remember, you're a member of the human race. So start acting like it. Harden up and start acting like it. But to be fair, it's not your fault that you're soft. All right, humans are programmed to be soft. We're programmed to conserve as much energy as possible. We are bloody good at making things easy for ourselves because that's a survival mechanism that is built into us. Humans will naturally sit down or squat given the option. That's why there's chairs in waiting rooms. And we invented modes of traveling easier. We created sleds to drag things. We got animals to do the work for us. It's gotten out of control though. We no longer even get out of our car to open the garage door. And while we're on that subject, when did walking become exercise? Walking is not exercise. Walking is just how we get around. Have you ever heard a snake say, I'm going to just go out for a slither right about now? No, snakes don't go out for slithers to get exercise. They just slither around. We used to hunt and gather our food, and then we found an easier way to do it. We brought the animals to us, and we put them in fences. We built gardens so we didn't have to walk around and find bushes to pick things off. And then we came up with this great idea to build big buildings and put all the food inside it. So then we just have to walk around the building and grab the food that we wanted and put it in a trolley. Now, with a couple of clicks of your button, you can get your groceries delivered to your door. You don't even have to walk around the supermarket anymore. It's no wonder people find it hard to endure hardship because all the inconvenience of our life has been effectively removed. When I was younger, I used to read a lot of stories about explorers and survivors, survival stories and soldiers who endured extreme situations and that put anything that I did to absolute shame. And so what I want to do over this next these next few weeks and explore some of these stories is to help you set a new normal, because as Nick said, it's all relative. So what you've experienced in the past affects how you experience things in the future. So if you think something's really hard because this is the wettest I've ever been, it's the coldest I've ever been, it's the windiest it's ever been, and I'm so exhausted, then it's true. That is the hardest thing you may have ever done. But you've got so much more in you. And we're going to have a look at some stories of people that have gone above and beyond in terms of their endurance and their strength and everything. And we're also going to look at some of the science behind it as well, to show to you that, it's not only that we're saying these things, and it's kind of like nice, warm, fuzzy things saying, yeah, you've got more to give. But the science actually shows it as well, that you're not tapping in to your full potential, and you need to harden up and start digging a little deeper because you're holding so much back. So that's the Harden Up project. If you want to get yourself a Harden Up t-shirt, you can do that. I'm wearing one right now. This is the coolest t-shirt I've ever owned, to be honest with you. And one, it's super comfortable, but that's beside the point. But when I'm wearing it, it's next level. Like I was wearing it in the gym earlier in the week, or last week, sorry, and every time I looked in the mirror, it was a reminder to harden up. Every time you walk past a window and you see a reflection of yourself, it's a reminder to harden up. And it's not telling other people to harden up, right? You're not walking around with harden up on your t-shirt saying that, this is about me and you're soft and you need to harden up. This is about you telling yourself that you're soft and that you need to harden up. And even if you're already hard, you can always be just a little bit harder. So jump over and check those out if you want to get yourself a t-shirt. At least go and check them out. There's some other ones over there as well at exponentialperformancecoaching.com/store. Until next time, get out there and harden up.